Okay, so there are 48 ounces of distilled water in a jug. So given that 1 ounce equals 29.5735 milliliters, how many milliliters of distilled water are in the jug? Rounded to the nearest tenth. Well, once again, just love unit rates. 1 ounce is that many milliliters. Well, how could we possibly get from 1 to 48? Well, obviously multiply by 48. Okay, so that's obviously what we're going to do to the other side. If you take 29.5735 milliliters times 48, you're going to get 1,419.5 milliliters. Okay, let's see if that's over here. 1,419.5 milliliters. Okay, that's that's the box right there. Was deciding whether to do an X or a check mark, and I kind of just did a mess. So 1,419.5 milliliters is the answer to that one. All right, so on this one says a box has 2 kilograms of rice, given that 1 pound equals 0.454 kilograms. How many pounds of rice are there in the box? So they're giving us how much kilograms per 1 pound. So we would have to get to 2 kilograms. Okay, so basically to find that out, you would do 2 divided by 0.454. And if you do that, you end up seeing that you have to multiply it by 4.4. So 0.454 times 4.4 will give you 2 kilograms. Okay, so and that being the case, then you just do 1 times 4.4, and that will give you 4.4. So basically 4.4 pounds is the same as the number of kilograms that you need, which is 2 kilograms. There we go, and we've run that conversion. Okay, so with these, we just have to kind of think it through. Let's see, just in case we have to draw anything. It says Sandy bought 8 prizes for $104. Does the following statement have the same unit rate? Okay, so is it the same as 8 prizes for $104? Okay, so at this point, we really don't have to scale up or down. Like a lot of times, you want to get down to how much it is per one prize and then scale it up to this. But if you look at this, 104 stays the same and this changes. So, with that being the case, there's absolutely no way that they have the same unit rate because they are not equivalent ratios. So, the answer for this one would definitely be no. Okay, we can just look at the explanation and just sees that if this is 104, this has to be 8 also. Right, Sandy bought 8 prizes for $104. So there's our unit rate. We could divide them again and get it how much it is per one prize, but I think we're going to be once again in a pretty obvious situation where it says, does the following statement have the same unit rate? Well, um, she bought 8 prizes, and that matched up with the fact that this person has 8 balls that they purchased. Okay, but if they're the same, then this needs to be the same also. So once again, without even having to scale it down to a unit rate, we can see clearly that the answer is no on this one. It is not the same. Absolutely not. Sandy bought 8 prizes for $104. Does the following statement have the same unit rate as the original? Oh, okay. So basically, what it comes down to is if you do half of 8, you'll get down to 4. So you can scale it down that way. Or you can do half of 104 and get the 52. So those both match up. If you divide 8 by 2 and 104 divided by 2, you get 52 and 4. So the answer to this one is yes, they both match up. The other thing you could have done was divide 8 into 8 and get 1, divide 8 into 104 and get 13. So the ratio to this is 1 to 13 as a unit rate. You could divide 4 into 4 and get 1, and 4 into 52 and get 13. So they both have the same unit rate. It is $13 per item. So they both are going to match up. Okay, so Don bought 7 bottles of juice for 56. Determine if each statement has the same unit rate again. That's what we're doing, same unit rate as the original statement. Well, once again, we don't really have to get down to unit rates because if we're comparing 7 to 7, then the amounts have to be the same as well. So we can very clearly, without doing a whole lot of work at all, or bringing things down to the unit rate or scaling up and down, we can see very clearly since these are the same and these are not the same, the 56 and the 84, the answer is simply no. So that's all you have to do for that one. Okay, so Don bought 7 bottles of juice for $56. It says determine if each statement has the same unit rate again. All right, well, I'm going to make a chart real quick and go from there. Okay, so I set up the chart and I have 7 to 56 and 4 to 32. Not real easy to get from one to the next. Okay, but what I'm wondering is, let's get from 7 down to 1. So 7 divided by 7. So if we divide by 7, that's going to give us 1. So we're going to do the same thing for this one, divided by 7. 56 divided by 7 is 8. Okay, so can we get from 1 to 4? Yeah, 1 times 4 is 4. 8 times 4 is 32. So yeah, so once we scale it down to the unit rate, we can actually scale it back up and match it. The other thing we could do is 4 divided by 4 is 1. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Okay, so no matter how we look at it, once we compare it to the unit rate of 1, okay, so it's going to be 1 bottle or 1 stuffed animal, and then the amount of that's going to be $8 for each one of those items. So they are the same. So the answer to that one is yes. It is yes. All right, so I kind of put some stuff here already. It says Don bought 7 bottles of juice for $56. It says determine if each statement has the same unit rate as the original statement, and then it has 10 backpacks for $70. Well, what I did was I utilized this 7 bottles for 56 and put them in a ratio table. Then I got it down to its unit rate. I divided 7 by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 56 divided by 7 is 8. So I should be able to match that up with 10 and 70. So if I put 10 backpacks, 1 times 10 is 10, 8 times 10 is 80. So is that going to match with that one? The answer is no. So once we got down to the unit rate and we scale it back up, it does not match. Even though you couldn't really match up one or the other as far as the 10 to 7 or the 56 to 70. Once you got it down to its unit rate, you could scale it back up and see if it matches in both scenarios. And in this situation, it does not. Okay, so actually this is the last one. It says there are 15 pieces of fruit in a bowl. So there's 15 total pieces of fruit. And 6 of those 15 are apples. So what percentage of the pieces of the fruit bowl are actually apples? Okay, well, I know that I want my total. Anytime you want the total and you want a percent, you just make it 100%. So let's do that and let's make a couple lines and see if there's a way that we can get to that 100%. Let's see. I know that 3 goes into 6 and 15. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. And then 15 divided by 3 is 5. Guys, I don't think I have to go any further. If I wanted to, I could. I could do 10 times 5 and make it 50. And then if I did that times 5, I have to do 2 times 10, which would be 20. So that might work also. Um, so here we go, guys. Let's just pick one of these, 2 to 5 or 20 to 50. Well, shoot, the 20 to 50 is going to make it real simple. To get from 50 to 100, you just have to multiply by 2. Okay, so that would be the percentage. And then you do 20 times 2, which would end up as 40 out of 100 if you were to match it out of 100, which means the percent is obviously 40%, which would be right here. So 40% of the fruit in the bowls are going to be apples. And that's it for this review.